We talked to these customers and they told us, okay, for us it's important the Google business profile, the local profile. It's also important to have the website and to bring enough information. Now we are like, okay, what is going on with all of this? We are looking into ChatGPT or all the Gemini, and people is looking, are we going to show up there? What is the next stage for SEO? So Flavio is a solution that is going to, or an agent that is going to understand the goals of these companies, the context of these companies.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to Agency Success Community at hosting.com. I've got a longtime friend of mine, Wences Garcia from marketgoo.com. We're going to be talking about what they're doing with their product and AI. It's very compelling for agency owners, for your clients. Wences, could you give us a little background about yourself and MarketGoo?
Yes, happy to be here, Cody. Always a pleasure meeting with you. Background, well, I've been involved in the hosting market for a long time. 2000, I was the first employee of a successful hosting company. What is sold? I got the entrepreneurial itch. I started an online agency for SMBs with a lot of automation. But at some point, we saw there was an opportunity in the hosting space to build an SEO tool for SMBs, no? An SEO tool for the hosting channel. So it was like taking my experience in the channel, helping these companies that were creating the building. And so we create MarketGoo, which has been visibility tools, SEO tools, and data and reports for the market. Our basic solution is do yourself, either a plugin or an app that worldwide hosting companies install and resolve, and that's pretty much it. Now I'm leading MarketGoo is a private company. I'm leading the product vision. I'm also the founder and the CEO of the company. Yeah, that's pretty much what brings us to this point.
Yeah, well, we go way back. I know the work you and your team, got to meet a number of your team, have done with SEO, in particular, selling your software as a solution product through hosting companies to clients. And so you've got rich history with SEO and marketing already. And now you're getting ready to launch Flavio. Could you tell us a little bit about Flavio?
Yes. Well, actually, Flavio, besides being a new product name or eventually a brand, is our bet into the agentic world. It's basically like fulfilling my vision and the vision that we have of helping as far as we could with tools or with software, these online success challenges. People, they got to get their presence, but having success through online has always been a challenge. And through SEO, there was a lot of work to do on the technical side, content, backlinking, profile, and so on. We've been doing a lot of that, trying to be as automated and helpful for the user, but still belong in the area of do-it-yourself solution, like providing tools, giving some automation. So what's Flavio? Flavio is fulfilling the vision. It's basically using the current AI capabilities to build an agent that is going to be the one doing the job that an SMB really needs after they have their online presence. And Flavio also has a pretty specific approach or target, which are like the very small SMBs or micro SMBs, all of those millions of companies out there that they have busy jobs. They don't have maybe all the ability to hire agencies, but they still have the challenges. They need to look. They need to have people coming to their shop, and they need to still sell their services. So with Flavio, we look into this market. We talk to these customers, and they told us, okay, we see for us it's important the Google business profile, the local profile. It's also important to have the website and to bring enough information. Now we are like, okay, what is going on with all of this? We are looking into ChatGPT or all the Gemini, and people is looking, are we going to show up there? What is the next stage for SEO? So Flavio is a solution that is going to, or an agent that is going to understand the goals of these companies, the context of these companies, is going to ask them, okay, what is an outcome based, which is a great topic, Okay, talk me. Okay, I'm a shop. I want people to come to my shop. That's what I want. It's not that I want a nice website with this and that, and I don't want better SEO. I want this. No, I want more visits. So it's basically outcome based, and the goal is that through the technology and obviously with all of the experience that we have gathered through the time, we are able to create an agent that is going to do the stuff for that micro SMB. So basically, it's the growth layer for every micro SMB. You create a website, and we know it's easier than ever to create a fairly nice website. But the next thing is, okay, and it's more challenging than it was in the past. How do I get traffic? How do I'm showing visible? How is my company going to show up in the GPTs or LLMs or Gemini AI mode? And how am I gonna get that? So it's a very strong bet. I think that the most interesting part is working is a WordPress. I mean, all of the layers of technology of Flavio, obviously, that we built, all the brain is in our own systems. But the way that is securing is by connecting to the Google Business Profile and local presences, but also to the website, and doing the job for the user there.
That's fantastic. I want to get back to the solution that you built here. But first I want to talk back about the problem that you've seen, that I've seen through our long careers here, that, a client will get a website from an agency deployed. It's launched. And oftentimes it becomes a brochure because it's like they're not using the full capabilities to do marketing, to use it as your central hub for everything you're doing digitally. And, time and time again, I've seen it. It's, okay, we've got 7 pages on the site, maybe a blog that's kind of vacant, but it's just sitting there. It's not doing some maybe they've done some SEO in there, but oftentimes when I talk to agency owners, they're technical specialists. They know how to get this project, the vision of the client online, but it's kind of like, in my sense, okay, we just delivered you a car, but you have to drive it. The client needs to drive that. And a lot of agency owners I know like to stay in the technical space. That's their area of expertise and experience, maintaining it, making sure the car's all good. But there has to be a driver in that. And I think Flavio is a great opportunity there to do what we've seen so many people get stuck and just stalled right there, stopped at, okay, I've got this pretty cool functional website, but it's not doing anything for me. So from your perspective, I want to just hear from you about the problem, the challenge that so many clients of agency owners and those that build their own websites, for sure, these micro small businesses, for instance, that you've seen in your career, in your history here.
Yes, this is a great topic. It's basically the problem that we're trying to solve, And like we have scanned millions of websites through our partnerships, and we know the average is 5, 7 pages, and it's basically this portfolio website. I think that there are today, the problem has been the same in the past, But today the problem is a little bit more sophisticated in the sense that now the discovery is fragmented. You can go into a plain Google search, you can go into ChatGPT, you can go into whatever you are using to find or element to find things or to discover, and that's one thing. I think that for the very small SMBs, what we saw as well is that more and more the reputation management and how they show up in the local presence is critical, and sometimes they don't improve that. They don't even have time to engage with the reviews or with the customers. Sometimes they don't even have time to understand what's working on their business through the information that they have, and also they don't have time to promote the website, to promote their businesses out of the website or out of the Google local presence. So that's pretty much the problem we want to solve. And I'm going to talk to you about some specific ways that we want to do this. One is like looking into, through AI and obviously with some help from the user, we'll be able to get a lot of context. And context is key. Now we know, okay, this is the company, this is the location where you're operating, these are the services that you're providing. We don't need to ask everything, no, to that company. In situations where we may need to ask, okay, these are the services, these are your areas, this is what you do. With all that context today, we will be able to really shape the presence in a better way than it's been in the past. No, like maybe I'm a user, and in the agency we have this. No, you talk to the customers and they really pointed out to something when the demand was not there in the market. No, it was not like was driving the main USP. So with Flavio, we first try to understand the context and then understand the goals, and that is the mix, the perfect mix to get into what we do. I want to tell you something. For example, no, one of the LLMs are using these FAQs, no, this question and replies, and most of the websites today they are not structured like that way, no. So Flavio is going to look into the information that you have, and then it's going to look into the reviews and the information that the market has about your business, and it's going to inject that. It's going to augment the content of your website with these FAQs to get you ready to those questions and to that indexing by LLMs. So that's one of the things that Flavio needs to do and is going to do to contribute to solve that problem as an example.
Yeah, I think you pointed out something, and the problem is that we're expecting someone that has expertise around something they sell, for sure, but they're not a classically trained or even trained marketer. And oftentimes I hear founders, entrepreneurs, small business owners, you see, they know how to do this thing really well. That's why I go to them. Let's say my mortgage broker or my real estate agent, whatever. But then they also realize, as a small business owner, they also have a hat on called marketing. And I think Flavio is one of the answers to that, where you get this website, this vehicle. Okay, I've got to do marketing. That's a stress point, pressure point. Well, hey, here's an agent, team member on your team. I can ask you questions, get that context. I think that's so critical. And then understand your goals and then work the strategies that can do that. And I love how you said earlier, outcomes. I mean, we're all about outcomes. We don't buy a product for just having the product mostly, right? But it's because we want the outcome that it promises. And so on the solution side, on the outcomes for Flavio, what are some of the examples of how what Flavio can and will do for the customer?
Yes, I think that, like, for example, the local customers that are telling us, okay, I want more people to come into my shop. One of the things that we're going to do is improve their local presence, no? Like providing better information about what's in the local presence. That will give more discovery. Things that we're going to do as well is like looking into the service areas, amplifying the market that they're targeting. That in particular is going to create more people. And I like this thing that you can see in Google Maps. You can see in Google Maps when somebody's coming to your shop with the map. They click on directions. So Flavio is going to is going to increase the number of people that is going to come to your website, because they may eventually be looking to some services. They don't know you, and they're looking to some services in your area. And Flavio is going to make sure that that your offering is going to be maximized for that discovery. That's one example of the things that he's going to do. I mean, the basic things, I think that the way I want to see this is, okay, it's as simple as this. No, I'm the business owner. I want to delegate into something the responsibility of making my website technically content ready, all of this stuff, a schema, whatever, to be visible. That is like the basic thing, no? But after that, what are the outcomes? Okay, improve my content, show my services, integrate those solutions. When we are going to scan the reviews of that business, and we find there is like something that is getting interest or getting good reviews or getting good information, we're going to get this back into the business oriented. Is this something significant in your business? Do you want to to create content for this. That will be like one of the ways that we are going to surface. Micro SMBs in this new world, they will have a challenge with a brand. I mean, it's not like it was in the past. It's all about trust. It's all about brand. It's all about citations. So we need to make sure that we are following that path. And I will tell you something else. And maybe it's a little bit controversial. No, it's when we talk to these people, what we find is they don't even you. When I say controversial, is because I write the other day an article about less prompting. I think that most of the products today and targeting all of these companies are really way loaded on prompting. If I'm a business owner and you give me all the ability, still I need to have the time or understand which questions can I prompt. Flavio is not going to do that. I mean, the prompting ability is very low. Actually, the UI is like giving you reinforcement of what Flavio is doing. Eventually, we are going to ask for some approval, but it's not a prompting. We are going to take the lead. That's what is an autonomous agent. Again, it's not only about understanding the problem, it's also about understanding the context and the user. This micro SMB, this business owner, this pizza. I love pizza, by the way. So these people doing the pizza and not having time to get into an interface and say, oh, I want more people coming to my pizza happy hour or whatever. No, I don't think that is going to be the case for these companies. They don't really care. No, we have seen this through the years. So that's another bold bet on Flavio. It's a challenge from the UX because no prompting, making the agent work. Also, another thing that we've seen is that we have to create trust and confidence on the user, but don't overwhelm them with notifications. Do the job. I mean, it's like you have an employee or somebody working for you. You don't want that person to ask you all the time, okay, what should I do? What should I do? No. At some point, they may ask you, okay, I've been doing this. I want to do this. Do you approve it? That's the way that Flavio is going to work.
That's fantastic. Well, you've included in some of that some major areas. SEO is still a key. Local marketing, when you mentioned Google and Google Maps and Google Business, I mean, that's key for local business owners, for sure, to find the place to say, oh, I need flowers. I'm looking for a flower shop near me and things like that. And that's important, connected back to your Google business profile. And I think local business owners start to see that. Reviews you mentioned are so key. Those are all elements of a bigger marketing strategy for a local small business owner. And I think that's so awesome. So what I hear you saying is Flavio is bringing that agentic AI that I've heard and I'm hearing more and more about. I haven't used it specifically, but I'm talking to people that are bringing that agentic AI space down to those millions and millions of local business owners that don't have a PhD in marketing and haven't spent years like we have in there. And I think that's an excellent solution to help them actually use those websites and reach more people and hit their goals.
Yeah. And it's not even, I mean, the way we call it as an agent, no, it's like, I think that it's more about the personality and the outcomes. The platform or the technology layer is different. There is a bunch of deterministic part in this. We are going to leave the agent is like the whole behavior, no? But under the hood, we have the deterministic part. We have like those focus areas for the agent where we like tell them, okay, this is what you should be doing, and these are the guardrails, and this is what you should not be doing. And if the user wants to roll back this implementation, you should be able to do all of that. No, we're not talking about building specific abilities that someone with Claude will start using to improve their local business. Again, that is not the approach. Local business, they may be using Claude or ChatGPT, whatever, as we all do, no? Like with invoices and all of those things. But we don't see them like, okay, connect to the website, do this and do that. because there is like a frontier, it's like time consuming, and we don't have all the skills or the criteria to make those implementations. That's delegating into Flavio all of that. So that's maybe it's not like a pure agent in a technological way of seeing, but the behavior and the outcome is an agent.
Yeah, and I see Flavio reducing the time and complexity to get there to utilize the full capabilities of AI for your business. So well done. I'm excited to see Flavio out in the wild and take it for a spin myself. Before we go, Wences, I want to just see your perspective overall. Take a step back from this product and then AI and everything on the web and what you see. Obviously, you and your team have spent decades doing SEO, which Google became king for a very long time, and that's all changing. But I'm curious what you're seeing about SEO and AEO. At least I think I'm using the phrase right. But it's still optimization, trying to be found in. For those millions of people using chat just to ask questions and to be found, we're seeing the SERPs, Google SERPs and things like that, prioritizing AI responses over the traditional listing with PageRank and all that kind of stuff. But what are you specifically seeing and where is it going, do you think? And I know I'm asking you to be prophetic here, but with traditional search and now the advent of AI and the LLMs.
Well, I mean, it's like obviously a complex question. No? It goes into very different directions. It also depends on the context on the market. What we all seen is that SEO as a main source of traffic is changing dramatically. There are like a lot of businesses and companies or online projects that some plugins the other day I was talking to a plugin creator in the WordPress space, and they say that they were like worried because most of the traffic and income the inflows were coming from SEO, and SEO was gone. No, most of these people were getting the results 0 clicks. So that behavior is like really transforming some kind of the market and industry. Let's look in that way. I think that all of the marketing channel, the marketing mix is more complex than it was in the past. And one of the things that the AI is bringing is this probabilistic perspective, no? Where it's not like it was in the past. You focus on some keywords, some clusters, some content, and you may have some iteration and get to something. Now it's not about this. No, every user will have like their context and their thing, and as I said, this is changing dramatically. If we look at the bare bones, like SEO is still a thing, is still something that you need to do. I don't think that most of the things change. And mostly, and also in our case, no, we haven't worked with pretty sophisticated SEO cases. No, not millions of pages on a website or complex or competitive searches. So SEO is still important, but it's still important like it was in the past, in the sense of create good content to the people that you want, well structured and well served. It's all about the experience. I've been pitching this for 15 years. No, what do you want? I mean, if you're a company and people is looking for you or for services like you want to provide the best results, and that's a good website that is loading fast enough, that is well structured, that allows the user to spend time on it and not get back a click back once that they land into. So those basic things still are, and they will be still important in the future. Obviously, now we have another player, which is like in the past you were going to Google trying to interpret like the question you were asking through the replies. Now that job is being done by the LLMs. No, they are doing the job. You go there with a question, and I think that, I don't know you, but I'm more and more doing to Google, asking to Google questions when even to Google. No, when I'm Googling something, I'm Googling questions. When I'm not going to ChatGPT or Claude, I'm going there and making them questions. So I think that the way all of that visibility, all of those channels are changing dramatically, as I say, probabilistic, the way that is working, then I think it's still early, no? They are not working really well at all. Well, I'd say, not working perfectly, no? They are not. In the past, we rely on Google to define complex algorithms that were like the ones responsible for showing you the best results. Now AI has a complex job, no? Like, okay, this user, this memory, this context, the complex question, also the references, scrapping or indexing all the crawling the information in the internet, getting the reviews, getting into Reddit, getting into YouTube, and mixing all that together. So I think it's a challenging thing. I cannot be prophetic. I think that we still have to be working. Some of the behaviors are not going to change. I think that Google is going in the right direction, is moving and transitioning from that search into a little bit more complex questions through LLMs, and eventually there will be a little bit more, even more customized. So yeah, I think we have to keep doing. I'm a great believer of what I earlier said. No, that the better marketing is a good brand. No, and maybe it's spending time on what makes you unique as a company, and then doing a little bit of work on exposing what makes you unique into the world. That is like a great marketing and simple recipe.
Absolutely. I think that's excellent feedback too. And I see we're in this big transitional time. For the longest time, I don't know, 2 decades or so, we've had Google. You could own SEO, and then you could supplement or even boost it with SEM, PPC, and things like that. And that's changing. We're in this big transitional time, but it harks back to the beginning of all this to know that, I remember in 2006 writing a blog post, and I know if I put a keyword in the headline, it was probably going to rank. Well, that got more sophisticated, got more competitive over time. And I see the same thing with the AIs, for instance, because the ultimate problem, like you said, is like we want to be found.
Yeah.
Our businesses, we want to be found somewhere. And it seems like, and again, I'm not a prophet either, but with AI, or I'm sorry, with Google, that traffic change, which has been fairly drastic in the last couple of years, you can see the kind of influx over to AI and things like that. But coming down, I think it's spooked a lot of people to go, wait a minute, this is our pipeline for new work. Now, I think local small business owners, like you're saying, have kind of an advantage. You don't have a never ending competition locally, potentially, but you do have things like Google Maps, reviews, things I've seen more and more local business owners doing, like, hey, can you review us, putting it in their process, where at the end of a consultation or whatever it is from the business, hey, would you rate us? Would you review? Would you give us, 5 stars or whatever you think on Google or the particular reputation, measures? And that's still a strength of what we're doing. And I think tools like Flavio help you get ahead in that space to continue to, create a moat, so to speak, around your work. But over time, my impression is we'll figure it out, like we have always. We figured it out with Google, became this huge industry around just trying to get into the rankings. Not even Google, to everything around it, obviously like MarketView and different things. And this new transition, there'll be that time period too where we discover, like, for instance, you were mentioning Google, and Google search has turned into an AI in a sense where you can start asking questions and go deeper. But I've seen at the bottom, for instance, that, there's a link to one of the strongest guides because they've got all that information to go over. And so the click-throughs are changing, but it's still there. And I know we'll find ways to continue that pipeline. It'll just take some time to do that.
Yeah, good point. I agree.
All right, Wences, I've already asked you, what are you excited about next? It's Flavio coming soon, very, very soon. I know we'll have the link to the page in the show notes here. Go to marketgoo.com/Flavio, and you can sign up for when that releases, which is imminent. I think probably around the time we start to publish this conversation, we'll have that, you'll have that ready to go. But Wences, anything else that you're excited about that you want to, or that we missed that you want to share?
I think that I know that your audience is also in the agency space, so I think that it's still early, okay? And I think that we are all learning with all of this new paradigm. But I had some conversations with agencies where I think that Flavio will be like, and this is interesting, no? Because it's like, okay, Flavio's an agent, it was like they told me, okay, maybe I can deploy agents into my customers' websites, no? And I say, yes, that's a nice idea, no? So why don't we test this, no? It's like basically you're an agency and you have some customers, micro SMBs, and you want to delegate all that marketing and you want to make them successful online, but you don't have the ability or you want to hire anybody or it's too complex or whatever. And what you do is you deploy Flavio. It's another way of seeing this. No? It's like, okay, I'm starting a tool. No, I'm deploying an agent into this online marketing presence of a website that I just created early soon. So yeah, inviting agencies, I think it's still early. We are going to be working closely on the validation side with the end users, but creating an agency layer. I love agencies. I ran an agency in the past, and I think it will be something I would like to hear more from agencies and see the feedback. Obviously, not these complex enterprise agencies, but those that are like solving the micro SMB challenges and aligning on the problem.
Absolutely. Winston Garcia, marketgoo.com. Thank you for joining me today, my friend. Appreciate what you're doing. And we'll be talking, I know, soon in the next iteration as Flavio gets out in the wild and see how it's being used and the ways that you're continuing to develop and evolve that. So thank you for being on Agency Success Community at hosting.com.
Thank you for having me, Corey. Always a pleasure meeting you.